And we're on the final lap of the Worldwide Grand Prix, or something. As expected, Speed Racer is dominating this race. Just a reminder, this race is being sponsored by Big Jim's Penis Pump and Nacho Buffet Emporium. Get your cheese pump on, and then get your cheese pump on. Is that really their slogan?
You're almost there, Speed. This'll be your route. This'll be win 351, won't it?
353, Trixie. Haha, but that's okay. I'll forgive you because you're a woman. But don't get it wrong again, okay?
Okay.
Good news. This will be my fastest time yet. I'll beat my last record by 5.43 seconds. Haha.
That's not the only good news. We got you a partner for the next tag team race coming up next week.
Oh, that's some swell exposition, Trixie. What's the fella's name?
Jamal. Speed? Are you there?
Does he?
Oh, well, he's standing right next to me. You can ask him yourself.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that.
Speed, my man.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Hey, I'm really looking forward to driving with you in the next race as partners.
Anyway, I can't talk. Haha, I gotta go. Gotta focus on the race. Nah, look at that. You got the dreads and everything.
Oh, I've been studying you for years. We gonna do good together, baby.
Well, Jamal, to be honest, I think I'd rather have Trixie be my partner, seeing as we're longtime pals.
Oh no, Speed. Jamal's so much better than I am. You'll want him to be on your team. Plus, he's so dreamy.
What? Trixie? I appreciate the offer, but I don't want to be seen with a rookie.
Oh, no, I'm a professional, like you. Maybe even more so.
You're not like me!
Well, if you're gonna be teaming up with us, I may as well show you around the town. There's some really groovy places to eat around here.
If you happen to leave through the locker room, just know that I'm aware that I have exactly $14.36 in my jacket's front pocket. Well, then I guess it just leaves us fellas. How about it, Speed? Let's get you cleaned up and hit Big Jim's. Yeah, sure, I guess. Gee, that was swell. Some food in my belly was just what I needed. Oh, looks like Trixie left me a voice message while we were out.
A little bit of titty milk went down the wrong pipe.
Are you okay?
It was still good, though.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right, girl. Suck that noodle. Suck it like a plate of spaghetti. You want some meatballs, huh? There you go, baby. How about some extra sauce, too?
Baby.
There you go.
I'm already
All over
over
your
that
eyebrows
bitch.
and shit. Yeah, now turn over, bitch.
Okay.
Don't look at me when I'm crying. Oh.
Speed, maybe we should just... No! Now, Speed, don't do anything rash. It was a mistake. Yeah, you don't need to try and call her up or even let her know you got the message. Oh, come on, Pops. Of course it was a mistake. I know that. What kind of a guy do you think I am? Haha. So, Jamal, good luck today.
Oh, hell yeah. We gonna crush it, dog. Don't even trip, chocolate chip.
Good luck, you guys.
Yes, I'd like to report a reckless driver, please. Yeah, he's, about 6'2", black man... Get out of the car with your hands up!
Well, ain't that about a bitch? What kind of shit is this?
Check his glove box. I bet there's crack and an unlicensed gun in there, too. He's right!
Speed, how did you know that? Did you have something to do with this?
Go Speed Racer, go!
Trixie! I know you're there. Is he there, too? I swear to God, if you're fucking and sucking Jamal, I don't know what I'll do. You know what? I won't even be responsible for what I do next, because this is all you. Trixie, look, I'm sorry that I freaked out in the last call. I really want to talk to you, and this is important. Please call me back. Hey, Trixie, call me back. Call me back, Trixie. Trixie! Trixie, I'm a broken man. Speed, maybe we should just get off the phone and Trixie, I just got back from the doctor. Turns out I have bone cancer. Give me a call back.
Epic Patreon shoutout to Service the Skeptic. Check the link.
Hope you guys enjoyed Speed Racist by my friend and collaborator Corey Clayton. He's now working on episode 2 of TJ's Demons, our little collaborative show together. It's going to come out every month, but then it took like 5 months or whatever, but still. Getting it done, baby. Get it done. Yeah. Is it me or are you super quiet? I might be super quiet. That could be. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Shouldn't really be too quiet, but I guess I could crank it up like, then it's a little louder. Or I could keep this in the same place and just crank this up like this. Test, test, 1, 2. 1, 2, test, test, 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's a little quieter than it normally would be. Oh, yeah. You are the god of hope. These scams must end. Much better. I'm glad you like it better. It's weird. The setup requires different things for different shows. Like the DFF setup is very different. Maybe because maybe because I'm yellow more. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe just because drawing power to multiple mics and running more applications. I don't know. I don't really know what the fucking deal is with that shit. Do you guys know what the deal is with that shit? I don't know what the deal is with that shit. Don't front like you have any of us. Wait. Don't front like you or any of us have anything better to do on a Saturday night than wait for TJ. Yeah. That's true. So true. So very true. Magically true. Deliciously true. Oh my goodness. Gracious me. So true. Hold on. What is this shit? Super thanks? What the fuck is that? Do all channels have that now? Apparently not. What's this super thanks shit? What the fuck am I seeing, bro? Anyway, hold on. I'm getting some stuff ready. Boop. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to talk. It is kind of late. What's late? You're late, bitch. Fuck you. It's like 9:16 Central Time on a fucking Saturday night. What the fuck do you... What? We actually do get a better crowd on here on weekdays. I guess a lot of people in my audience actually do things on Saturday. At least maybe in October they do. Because I feel like most weeknights when I do this show, I usually get like 200 people in here. But whatever. Who gives a shit? I did start this show about like half an hour late, and then I tortured you guys with like 10 plus minutes of just filler. So that's cool. That made me feel happy, though. I feel like I needed to do that to feel happy inside. You know? Is Big Booty Streamlabs on? I think so. Yeah, it should be. You're not gonna make me log into that over there, are you? You're gonna make me do it. I guess I'll open up Streamlabs. Let's see. Dashboard. Yeah, sure. Okay. What is this shit? Get out of here, you. This is not what I want. Change account. Yeah. Yeah, This one? I'm actually super glad you're streaming tonight. Why is that? It's Halloween Eve. That's true. It's the eve of my 3rd wedding anniversary, too. So that's good. Get her done. Get her fucking done, bitch. Get her done, boy. Get her. Get her done. We all agree with that, right? You guys having a Halloween special? Nope. Don't think so. Just doing a normal day. I mean, I'm having fun for Halloween, but we didn't do anything special as far as DFF goes. We didn't do like a big Halloween spectacular or anything like that. But there's supposed to be music. Yeah, I mean, sometimes there is. Yeah, I guess that at least when I'm not watching shit like you know, these terrible videos I'm gonna be watching, we could play some music to make it a little less fucking... That's a little much. Pay Scotty, TJ. Never! The jury's still out, damn it. Jury's still fucking out, boy. Jury's out. Jury's fucking out, motherfucker. Jury is fogging out. How do you do your anniversary and Halloween together or separate? We view them... We had a Halloween-themed wedding. We love Halloween. So, yeah, we just, like... You know, we don't fuck around with that shit. We just do Halloween. But it's also our wedding anniversary. So it makes, like... I think it makes us respect Halloween as a holiday. You know? Like, we don't take Halloween lightly in this household because it's also our anniversary. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. But for us, the Sabbath day is Halloween. So, you know. So that's how I like to do it. If Trump dies, will you pay him then? No. Trump can never die. Okay. I guess it's reconnected. Yeah, like our wedding, we fucking rented out a... maybe I'll wait till Chelsea gets back in here, because I think... Rend the hope from my body as the vulture rips flesh from Carry On. Okay. Sure. I'm getting to it. We're back. Yeah, there was maybe a little momentary hiccup there. I don't know if there was or not. But anyway, the we rented a fucking little mansion. It's not little. It's big by definition. We rented a mansion in Mississippi. And we invited all the people that we gave a shit about to come to our wedding. And a lot of people helped us decorate the mansion. We just got like a lot of Halloween decorations and put them all over the place. Got some catered food. Got a nice wedding cake from a nice little mom and pop bakery. All the catering was done by a friend of my stepdad's who owns a restaurant in the local area, and that was really good stuff. You know, we had some pretty good shit, man. My stepdad almost fucking got high. I mean, he got high, and then he almost fucking ate our fucking wedding, like, ate our wedding cake before we actually cut the cake. He was, like, high looking at the cake, and he's like, man, this cake looks delicious, man. Yeah, there was like a momentary little internet hiccup, but whatever. Yeah. I think your dad stopped him from actually sticking his finger in it, but whatever. Who knows? I've heard varying accounts about that. Yeah, he fingered the cake. He's a cake diddler. He's a frosting molester. Just the swamp net. Don't deny a high man his cake. Paul Sitter, did I give you the wrench while I was drunk? Because I don't even know who the fuck you are. But maybe it's fine. I don't know. Did I go through this with you already? Maybe I did. What would a gay cake taste like? Probably like a straight cake, but, you know, gayer. I got married in the woods with my best friend. We were broke. We were thinking of renewing our vows with a bigger wedding now that we are better. Yeah, maybe. Fuck. Who knows? Any excuse to fucking throw a party, right? Yes. All right. Well, whatever. Just don't be a piece of shit, and I'll let you keep it. We might have already gone over this, because I know that I gave it to a few people, and then see them in here, and I'm like, who the fuck? Yeah, that's pretty much the thing, is like, if someone says something that I think is funny, I'll pretty much give them a wrench, just because, like, most people don't make me laugh. So, you know, anybody who can actually make me laugh, I'll give them a fucking wrench just because that seems like an accomplishment. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be doing like a probably a shorter Abandon Hope tonight than I've done for the last few months. I've done some crazy long ones. Probably be doing a little bit shorter tonight because it being Halloween, and I have some stuff to get ready for a little get together tomorrow with my immediate family members. I'm going to be making some meatballs. I have found this really interesting meatball recipe. It's supposed to be like sweet and sour meatballs. Well, I'm not going to do their recipe for the actual meatballs themselves, but I am going to do the sauce. And the way you make the sauce sounds pretty crazy to me, so I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. But apparently you melt down a cup and a half of grape jelly and then add 12 ounces of chili sauce. And that's supposed to be like a sweet and sour kind of glaze. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. But it sounded interesting and it sounded easy, so I'm going to try that out. I'm also going to, I typically will use, like one of the things I do for meatballs is I like to mix about 1/3 beef, 1/3 Italian sausage, and 1/3 breadcrumbs that have been soaked in milk. But I'm going to use coconut milk, not the stuff that they sell as like a milk substitute, but like the canned coconut milk, like the thick, super fatty stuff, to maybe give the meatballs a little bit more sweetness too. So it's going to be kind of like a sweet and sour meat treat. We'll see. I don't know how it'll come out, but whatever. I figure if you're cooking for your family, that's the time to experiment. You know? Experiment on them. Don't experiment on yourself. And then also I'm going to bring some chicken kebabs that Scotty's going to cook up or whatever on the grill. And I'm also going to bring my air fryer so that he can do some chicken wings in it. Actually, he should probably come and pick that up himself, like at 3 or something, but whatever. So yeah, I do have some stuff coming out. How long do you soak the breadcrumbs? Pretty much. So if I'm doing it with milk, I'll use whole milk, because what you really want to do is get, like, meatballs are good if there's a lot of fat in them. I like a fatty meatball because it keeps them, it keeps the integrity of the meatball good. The fat kind of holds it together. And fat is a good translator of flavor to the tongue. It's like a good intermediary thing. Like, fat communicates flavor very well. That's why human beings like a lot of butter and things and so on. So what I do is I take some whole milk and I get some breadcrumbs. Maybe they're Italian seasoning, maybe they're not. Maybe they're panko. You can do whatever kind of breadcrumb you want. You just add some milk to it until, you know, basically, like if you got the breadcrumbs up to here, you just pour the milk until they're basic. It kind of like sinks in between, and you want it to be like about even level. And then you wait for it to soak it up, and then you kind of stir it and see if it still feels a little dry, and then maybe you add a little bit more milk and you stir it again. And you just kind of soak it in the milk for like 10 minutes until you have like sort of a... you're looking more for a consistency. I don't really measure amounts. I just eyeball it until I get the consistency I want. But the consistency you want is basically like mush. You just want some like breadcrumb milk mush. And that mixes really well with the meat. And it gives the meatballs like this airy sort of like rich tenderness to them. That's really delicious. You can watch a few, like I didn't figure this out myself or anything. This is like a technique. You can watch like a few different meatball recipes on YouTube and kind of see a few, some people do this. Some people say it's not a good practice. Some people say it is. I say it is because it's always produced really good results for me. Makes me upset you don't measure. Like you get it right every time if you measured. I get it right every time without measuring, bitch. Fuck you. When I've never got it wrong. I don't measure shit when I'm cooking. Cooking is an art. You be better as a baker. Baking's all about measurements. Baking's all about getting it exactly right. Cooking's about fucking trusting your instincts, going with your gut. You know? Now, maybe I'll break out the old measuring cup here and there for a few things, but for the most part, I eyeball shit. And if you ain't got good eyeballing skills, then go ahead and measure shit like a little stupid bitch, but don't put your don't project your shortcomings onto me. I'm perfect. You stupid little bitch. Anyway, I am a measurer. Yeah. No culinary artist measures anything. Dude, you know, they and most of these fucking chefs, by the way, have no idea, like, what even the measurements are anymore. You'll see that. I'll fucking be watching, like, Gordon Ramsay be like, add a tablespoon of olive oil to the pan. And then he proceeds to put, like, 6 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. It's like, no wonder people get so fucking confused in these recipe books and shit. Because you go with the fucking measurement, they're like, yes. I remember fucking reading a story on Reddit where this person was trying to replicate their grandma's pork chops. It's like, my grandma makes the best fucking pork chops. And she gave me the recipe, and I've tried, and they just never, mine always turn out dry. I don't get it. And finally, they're just like, I gotta just watch my grandma do it. So their grandma had told them, you know, use like 2 tablespoons of butter. You know, this bitch fucking puts a whole stick of butter in the goddamn pan, dude. She's like, yeah, this is about right. They're like, no wonder. It's fucking, you boil it in butter. Fucking. Yeah. I can tell you what, most things in life, if you're in doubt cooking, salt and butter are always like the easiest bets. What does this need? Salt, butter. Or if you're fucking cooking for Chelsea, just throw some Tony Chachere's in there. And she'll be happy with it. Dude, I fucking have tried. I've tried it all. I try to cook things that, like, this is gonna stand on its own. She's not gonna want Tony's on this. But every fucking thing that I cook, she's always like, man, it's pretty good. Wow. What does it need? I'm like, gee, I wonder. What does it need? Does it need the same thing literally everything you shove in your fucking mouth needs? It needs Tony Chachere's, huh, baby? She's like, oh, yeah, it does. Like, wow. She loves that Tony's, man. She slapped that on anything. She loves Kraft mac and cheese with Tony's on it. I don't even like that. I think that tastes kind of weird to me. I'm just like, I don't really feel like this goes together, but she's like, yeah, this is awesome. This is great. Tony Chachere's on everything. It's like, all right. I'm glad it fucking makes you happy, baby. They need to fucking put out some more. They need to put out, like, Tony's infused butter. I mean, I could make it myself, but if they sold, like, an official one, I'd just use that. Kraft is gross anyway. Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're an American that was raised, like, around the time that me and Chelsea are, or just any time in American history that Kraft mac and cheese existed, really, you're probably going to have a soft spot for it. Not only that, but it fancies up pretty well, you know? Like, you don't have to fucking just cook it exactly like the box say, you know? You know what's weird? We actually cook it with less butter than the fucking box says. Because if you use as much butter as the fucking back of the box, it basically is not even mac and cheese. It's like mac and butter with like a vague cheese flavor. It's like, is it like fake butter? There's no, what? You just use butter. You provide the butter. What are you talking about? What are we talking? Wait, I'm lost. What is Tony's? Tony's Satcheries is a fucking seasoning, okay? Look, here, I'll show you. I have no idea how to fucking spell it. It's like insane. Tony cat settings? No. I guess I'll have to actually try. I have no idea. It's like totally fucking... Alright. Yeah, here we go. It's like Tony Chacheries, but it's not pronounced that way. I don't think it is anyway. Anyway, they have their own... Maybe I should fucking cook some of the shit on their website for Chelsea since she likes it so much. But here it is. Yeah, you're right. I just never seen it at the store or nothing. All right, let's see. Shop. So here is what I'm talking about right here. Tony's Original Creole Seasoning. I feel like the music is a little loud, huh? I turn it down a smidgen. I look like some songs are louder than others. That's probably too not loud. All right, whatever. Anyway, this is the one that I'm talking about here. The Original Creole Seasoning here. So if this is to believe, Tony Satchery is like this little demon imp creature that's like a leprechaun, sort of like a Cajun leprechaun guy. Great on everything. Chelsea fucking has taken that motto to heart. She believes it. She's a believer. Then they have the no salt version, which is basically for, I guess, people who are either watching salt or because Tony's is so salty that maybe you don't want it in something that you've already seasoned with salt or something that already has salt in it, like because it already contains like salted butter or like some salty broth or something. We don't have any need for that. We're just like, yeah, more salt. Fine. Perfect. Then they have a spicier version. Then they have a bold Creole version. Then they have a light version because it's so fucking, this one's so fattening, I guess. Maybe it just means like lighter on the flavor. I don't know. Spice and herb seasoning. Gumbo file. Original Creole seasoning packets. So, you know, Chelsea could bring some of those on the go. So every time when she's at a restaurant, she's like, this fucking burger sucks. You know what might make it good? Some Tony Satcheries. She's laughing because she's thinking about it on some level. You got a variety pack. You got your Creole crawfish and crab boil fucking seasoning. You got your crab boil fucking, what is this even? Just more crab boil seasoning, I guess. Different packaging for it. You got a 30-minute chicken marinade. You got a 30-minute pork marinade. You got a 30-minute steak marinade. You got a 30-minute burger marinade. You got a 30-minute seafood marinade. You got a 30-minute wild game marinade. Then you have a few box fucking recipe things for chili, I guess. Then you got a jambalaya mix. I didn't even know most of this fucking shit existed, by the way. They got a Creole dirty rice mix. Fucking Creole and red beans and dirty rice, blah, blah, blah. Got some etouffees, some yellow rice, some Spanish rice, some gumbo base, all this kind of bullshit. Got some butter marinades. Praline honey ham marinade. Yeah, it does sound good. Scotty's gonna fucking fry up one of those turkeys again this year, and I think I convinced him to do a recipe that I want him to. I fucking looked at it. It was like this fucking brown sugar fucking 36-hour fucking brine. It's like a fucking brown sugar brine. The turkey at the end looks so fucking good. New sponsor for TJ. I mean, you can get it here. Look, I'm literally at the site where you can ship it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Are you overseas or something? Where are you, Aaron? I mean, I assume they would fucking send it. They just charge you more for shipping, right? I don't know, unless there's some kind of weird, like, food law restriction bullshit, like, about sending it overseas, but I don't see why there would be. Might be some, like, weird fees involved. Keep the spice flowing. The shit's good, though. Like, even if you just want the seasoning, you know? I put this in everything because Chelsea fucking loves it. Even shit that you wouldn't think. But here's some, like, recipes that it's like, I don't know. I've never looked at this website. I'm, like, discovering this with you guys, but... Pork jowls, dude. Pork jowls. That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Looks like they took the pork jowls recipe away. Quail. Red bean hummus. That's a weird fucking concept. Hush puppy stuffed poblanos. Weird. Hanger steak with broccoli and mushroom. Some weird shit going on now. Dude, I've tried so many scallop potato recipes trying to fucking get a scallop potato that wasn't fucking shit and just dried garbage. This looks good. I've tried like 3 or 4 different scallop potato recipes. They've all fucking been duds that didn't even come close to scratching the itch that I had for fucking scallop potatoes. I guess I need to abandon hope of finding that recipe. The box scalloped potatoes are worth the money. I say scalped for some reason, too. I think that's a southern thing. Scalloped potatoes are worth the money. The real deal is a pain in the ass. Yeah, maybe you're right. Blackened swordfish sandwich. Why would you, I mean, if you're going to eat swordfish, why a sandwich? You must eat a lot of swordfish at the point where you're like, I want this in a sandwich now. You know what I mean? It's a bit much. Man, they really pushed this gumbo, though. Yeah. Shut up. Let's see what you do. How you making this gumbo, woman? I want to see how this woman makes this gumbo. Why her cameras suck. Okay, yeah, she got some Tonys and shit. I don't know why you need a whole ass goddamn turkey to make some fucking gumbo with. Yeah, you gonna bake a whole goddamn turkey? Alright, whatever. Get that gumbo base up in there. Dude, I could just make gumbo, though. I don't need no fucking... I can make a gumbo base. I don't need fucking Tony Satchery to help me make a gumbo base. It's not even hard. Gumbo base is, like, super easy to do. It's literally just, like, cooking a roux until it's brown, and you have a gumbo base. I don't know. It's not even hard to do. Whatever. Maybe theirs is, like, way tastier. Who knows? The meat will be juicier if it cooks on the bone. Dude, I've heard that. I never notice a goddamn difference. People will say it's a difference. I wonder if any of the people who say that would really fucking be able to tell in a blind taste test. TJ, what do you got for us today? I mean, I have some stuff here, I guess, you know. I guess I have things you can look at if you want. I have this guy. I have this Ben Shapiro thing. If you want it, I guess. You want it? You want it? All right. I guess we can do it. Where'd Chelsea go?
And we are focused on
Oof. Too much.
how do we basically live out our last days as a civilization in comfort. And one of the ways that we live out our days as a civilization in comfort is by lying to ourselves about fulfillment being found not in building, but in being, right? Fulfillment is not...
me a second. He's so loud I have to crank it down now. I don't know. It's very weird. Sound is such a fucking particular thing.
Is not found in having a mission.
Like, cause when I'm doing this shit with Paul and Scotty here, I have to crank all these up to like 300 for them to be audible. Like on this little app I have here, this Volume Master app. But here I don't have to fucking, I don't know, now that it's just me streaming, it's like a totally different fucking rules of audio apply.
Or promulgating good values. Fulfillment is found in navel gazing, which is why the State Department has now decided it's very important that we issue the first third gender passport for non-binary, intersex, and gender non-conforming Americans.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a pretty big leap there from, like, people. We are building stuff. Like the guy who's like president right now, like his whole thing is like build back better, right? He's trying to pass like a big old fucking infrastructure spending bill to build all sorts of new things. And it's like, well, no, we don't want to. That's the wrong kind of building too. But now because people want to have like their fucking a genderless fucking passport or whatever, that's like the fall of civilization, like every other goddamn thing. Every fucking thing anyone does, these motherfuckers always got to frame it as like it's the end of civilization, you guys. Like, doesn't it ever get tiring being in this persistent state of like, oh, it's done. It's over. It's over with, you guys. Over stupid shit, too. Not over, like, hey, you know, like scientists now say that there will be mass extinctions and, like, huge interplanetary die-offs by 2045. That's not a big deal, but, you know, you're allowed to be X on your passport for... You're about to have X for gender on your passport. That's when it all fucking unravels, right? That's the fucking catalyst. That's the end time event. This guy is fucking paid for by fracking billionaires who are actually destroying the planet, but he's going to try to sell you on the idea that, you know, the real fucking problem is, you know, genderless passports. Like, who gives a shit? Like, that's the fucking issue.
Americans. Now, you might think to yourself, wait a second. It is one thing for you to write on a college essay that you are non-gender conforming or that you are non-gender binary or some nonsense. Right? It's one thing to write that in your little Facebook profile. It's another thing for a governmental document which is specifically designated in order to help determine who you are, to have you put that.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there any fucking situation where you're entering a new country where it's going to like, whether you're allowed to enter that country or not should hinge upon your genitalia? You know what I mean? Like, it has to enter, like it's based on like, this is a document. It's so important because it tells who you are. Who you are. It's a government document. Okay, well, is there any fucking scenario where it's like, we would let you into the country, but you have a penis, so we need to know these things. Like, what is it like? I'm racking my brain trying to think of a scenario where it would matter. The only thing I guess I could think of, like, maybe if you were like going to like Saudi Arabia or something, you know, and you were like a cis, a trans man, and you know, you might fucking run into trouble there because of that. You know what I mean? Like you might have some issue when they're not like really willing to acknowledge that because of their culture or whatever the fuck. I guess that would be a scenario where maybe genitalia would be something that's important to notate on the document. But hopefully if you're a trans dude, you're not exactly planning a trip to fucking Saudi Arabia anytime soon. I also don't know, like, does the passport, it offers multiple gender options, but does it still, you know, make you talk about your sex on the passport? Because if that's the case, then even this argument falls apart, and it's already weak as a goddamn Jenga tower with fucking one little peg left on the bottom.
Because that's a subjective metric, right? It's like saying it's like putting on your passport that you're a Bon Jovi fan. Like, there's no way to tell whether that's true or not. nor is it relevant. Your interior
Right. I think that's the broader point is nor is it relevant. I mean, yeah, it's meaningless. I mean, like, if they want to let you put on your passport, like, what's your favorite music? Like, they decide, like, now as part of the passport program, we're going to let you, fill out a little questionnaire of just, like, little cute facts about you. And we're going to let you put that on the passport now. Like, would that be useful information? No. But would it cause any harm to put that on there? Also, no. And that's kind of the same way this gender thing is. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether a person is fucking male, female, gender non-conforming, whatever the fuck else. Like, none of that seems to matter at all. I can't think of a single fucking scenario other than the very outlandish trans man vacationing in Saudi Arabia scenario.
Interior feelings have no relevance to the question of how the government ought to identify you for purposes of knowing who the hell's in the country.
Wait.
But the State Department...
Wait. We don't have passports to know who the hell's in the country. We have passports so we could travel to other countries. We're talking about U.S.-issued passports, right? So that's not meant to track people in this country. That's meant to tell other countries, hey, I'm entering your country. And only a very small percentage of Americans even have passports because we're like very international travel averse as a people. We're also pretty isolated from the rest of the world, I guess, even still just because of the distance between us and all the other continents other than, South America, I guess, is not too far, depending on where you are in America proper. But, I mean, America's a huge goddamn country, so a lot of people just, like, if they're going on vacation, it's like, let's go to Florida. We'll go to Disney World. Let's go to Anaheim. We'll go to Disneyland. Let's see the Grand Canyon, or whatever the fuck else, Let's go to Las Vegas. That's my favorite. The gaudiness of Las Vegas.
Department now feels it's very important for you to look at your passport and feel that your passport reflects your innermost feelings. We're a society that now treasures the inner subjectivity of feelings over the identification with...
If that were true, then we would care about your stupid emotional breakdown over this issue. Like, you're making a feelings-based argument right now. You're I don't like it. You see what that other person put on their passport? If they ain't allowed to do that, it's going to lead to, I don't know, vague death of all civilization. I can't really get into the reasons why, but somehow it's just because too much navel gazing, too much bullshit. Like, this guy is some kind of, like, hands-on builder type. Remember that time he fucking went to Home Depot and he bought, like, a single piece of wood and he had it, like, he had it in a fucking shop, like a plastic bag. He's like, yeah, I got my piece of wood in a plastic bag. So that shows you what a fucking, man's man builder type we're dealing with here. Like, isn't your job, like, opining and, like, channeling the frustrations of a bunch of fucking angry, like, conservative redneck assholes, but trying to, like, translate it into, like, smart people? It's like, your whole shtick is, I'm going to try to take really stupid, emotional grunting noise of, like, the average, everyday, workaday conservative. Just, fucking Haitians, goddamn trannies, whatever the fuck. And then you translate that to, this is ridiculous. This navel-gazing nonsense where people believe that their intersubjective feelings are more important than the tangible realities upon which this great country is based. It's like, but your whole argument is emotional. It's just, well, I don't like it. Other people are doing things I don't like. Well. And then the same dude, by the way, is like, I'm a libertarian. I am a libertarian, you guys. I believe in liberty. It's like, okay, well, how about liberty to fucking identify whatever gender I want? No! That must be assigned at birth, based on your genitalia. Why? Because it's just how it is. We don't like that freedom. That's a bad one. Naughty.
Within reality. According to ABC News, 4 months after announcing it would allow a third gender option for U.S. citizens on their passports, the State Department said Wednesday it has issued one. It's the first of its kind, denoted with an X for non-binary, intersex, and gender non-conforming U.S. citizens. The recipient is Colorado resident Dana Zizim. Okay, the reason I pronounce it that way is because the last name is spelled Zzyym. I have doubts that this is the original last name of this person. Associate Director of the Intersex Campaign for Equality and a client of Lambda Legal. I almost burst into tears when I opened the envelope, pulled out my new passport, and saw the X stamped boldly under sex. I'm also ecstatic that other intersex and non-binary U.S. citizens will soon be able to apply for passports with the correct gender marker. It took 6 years, but to have an accurate passport, one that doesn't force me to identify as male or female, but recognizes I am neither, is liberating, Zizim said in a statement. The agency is still preparing to make the option widely available for passports and other documents, such as the consular report of birth abroad. So it's not just for Americans, by the way. It's people who are green card holders, who hold a U.S. passport, pretty much anybody trying to get in the country.
Oh, my God.
I want to reiterate on the occasion of this passport.
They're going to use the gender non-binary loophole to enter this country illegally. Like, wait, I'm failing to hear the counter argument. Basically, your argument is just like ridiculing this person who's happy that their identity was confirmed by the fucking state in some way. Affirmed by the state in some way. Like, and you're upset about it for no fucking particular reason. You're just like, I'm mad. You're vaguely alluding to reasons, like it kind of, but you're not like overtly saying it. It's just like you're kind of alluding to, like, you know, this is not just for U.S. citizens, by the way. This is green card hold. Like you're like someone's like there's some loophole where they're gonna use it to their advantage to like smuggle themselves into the country. You know, I mean, like at least fucking give me a scenario, right? Like. I don't know how to respond to these vagaries and this, like, emotional, wah, boo-hoo shit. Like, give me an argument, bud. You have yet to make an argument. We're 2.5 minutes in. Give me something to chew on, man. I'm fucking dying out here because I got nothing to work with. Just fucking give me something, Ben. I need a little bit more red
State
meat.
Department's commitment to promoting the freedom, dignity, and equality of all people, including LGBTQI plus persons, said State Department spokesperson Ned Price in a statement. The heroism. The heroism. Right? We're just going to ignore the objective reality or what ID is supposed to do so that you feel better about yourself.
What is it supposed to
do?
The
State Department...
An ID is supposed to identify you as a person, right? So if I have an ID, it shows a picture of my fucking face. Here's what this person looks like. And then it tells you some basic facts about that person, like they are this tall. They have this eye color, you know, stuff like that. So I guess gender is one of those things, right? Gender, male, female, and now there's going to be X. Well, you can still identify that person. You look at the person, you're like, okay, this is their height, this is their weight, this is their name, this is their eye color, this is their skin color, this is the name they fucking identify. Like, you still know all the things you need to know, including their gender. Their gender is a little X. This person does not recognize male or female fucking gender identities. Or, well, it's not they don't recognize them. They don't identify with them. So, like, how in any way does that prevent you from fucking identifying them? It doesn't. It just simply doesn't. So what's the problem? There's no problem.
Meanwhile, is saying that they're pursuing an end to gender-based discrimination with policies like this. I mean, not gender-based discrimination in Afghanistan, where women are literally forced into bags and then into the basement, but gender...
What you're trying to... But wait. Why are we bringing up Afghanistan? What is that? Huh? What's the relevance of Afghanistan to this? Are you saying we should... I mean, if anything, you're arguing we should be more like Afghanistan. I mean, like, basically, the idea... the argument you just made is... Let's not do this gender non-binary identification on passports because we're already better than Afghanistan on the whole gender issue. So, like, I don't see why we need to improve at all. I think we're perfectly fine as we are. All right? Like, you're still not explaining to me what's the harm in this. I'm still waiting to hear that.
Discrimination, like, you know, for example, being asked to say whether you are biologically male or female on a passport.
President Biden and Secretary Blinken have made clear it is the policy of the United States to pursue an end to violence and discrimination on the basis of gender, of sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, or sex characteristics.
Yeah, hold on. I'll read the Streamlabs donation. Sorry. I saw that I had a couple maybe flash by me without being remarked upon. Yeah, hold on. Excuse me. Let's see. Tucker White says, I have zero hope going into this. What are the odds it goes in the negative after this show? I mean, probably pretty good. And then you said, hey, TJ, remember when you made that video about how anti-SJWs had become just as bad as SJWs? Well, yeah, the gap is now larger than Voyager 1 is from Earth. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, this is just such weird, whiny bullshit and no real reason for it. Just fucking virtue signaling. I mean, it's not even... I don't even like to call it virtue signaling because it's not even really virtue that he's signaling. It's that he's a piece of shit, but to a conservative, that's virtue. So I don't know. I guess it's just like purity signaling to the base. Like, I hate trans people, and I want to make sure you guys know I hate them in every and all instances. You know, and that's why I have to make a big show out of being against this whole gender-neutral identification on the passport thing. So everybody knows that I hate them fucking trans people.
State is committed to promoting
all right,
the freedom,
I don't know. What is the problem?
And equality of all persons.
I get it. Yeah. All right, so go ahead.
Civilization that is on the decline, or the mark of a civilization.
All right, hold on. We're doing the whole civilization thing. Cool.
So the very important stuff. Now, is this the mark of a civilization that is on the decline, or the mark of a civilization that is on the mend and ready to grow?
I feel like this is the mark of either one. Like, this doesn't matter. This actually, you'll be surprised to know that allowing for gender-neutral identification on a passport is not an indicator one way or the other about the overall direction of civilization in any respect other than it shows that we are willing to look past, like, the gender binary. So I guess on that one particular issue, I would say that it's a positive sign for civilization, but in a broader context, it means fuck all for civilization. You know, you could easily have a civilization that passes this, that's like totally in the fucking decline, collapse stage. You could have a civilization that does this that's totally, like, you know, on the rise or whatever. I don't think this particular subject has much bearing on the fucking health status of civilization. I would say there are fucking several more important indicators we could look at. All issues, by the way, that you have zero concern about. Like, hey, our infrastructure is failing. Maybe we should improve. Hey, a lot of our industries are poisoning our planet and making life on Earth, threatening all life on Earth existentially. Maybe give a shit about that. I don't know. I think that the fact that people like you are funded by fracking billionaires and you're diverting the rage of the people on issues like this when they should be concerned about what your bosses are doing, I think that's kind of an issue. That, to me, is more indicative of the decline of civilization. The fact that there is a program called The Ben Shapiro Show and people watch it and it's funded by fracking billionaires and they pay you to lie to your audience and to fearmonger against trans people while you're pocketing money from the people who are actually destroying the planet, I think that's a pretty good indicator of a sick society, a civilization that's on the decline. But trans passports, whatever, gender-neutral passports, no. I don't think that's a sign of shit. I think that's a sign of reason being valued by somebody somewhere. So maybe it's a hopeful sign, I guess, but we're not here to hope. We're here to abandon hope.
And if you're worried about people getting married, having babies, a basic thing that is necessary is understanding that...
If you're worried about people getting married and having babies, this will have zero impact on them. You know what I mean? Like, what? He's like, oh, baby, I love you so much. Oh, I just can't wait till we get married and we have all these kids and stuff. This just in, gender non-conforming identities are now available on U.S. passports and other legal documents. Oh, never mind. I no longer want to fuck you. I no longer want to sexually reproduce with you. I no longer want to start a nuclear family with you. I want to put an X on my passport and gallivant around West Hollywood, inviting the menfolk to stick their fist in my anus. I don't get it. I don't really see what's like. I don't. X on the passport. Marriage as an institution collapses. Reproduction as a human endeavor collapses, which is like, oh my God, what a serious threat. What a serious threat to this planet of fucking 7 billion people and counting, that the population might be in decline. Oh no, it's about fucking time, bitch.
Men and women exist. That sexual dichotomy exists in mammals.
All right.
If you refuse to even acknowledge this, it makes it a lot more difficult to convince people that it's important to get together and have kids in stable families. But we as a
All right, so we have no idea what the internal lives of animals are like. There's no way to know whether or not like transgenderism or whatever occurs in like animal species like cats and dogs and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. We don't know that. We do know what the internal experience of human beings is. And we know that not everyone is comfortable with the fucking gender norms that we've constructed around having penises and having vaginas, or having testosterone or having estrogen. You know, people have created, our society has created a lot of weird little identity things around these activities and said, here's what you're like because this is your genitalia and this is your hormone. So you're going to be this way. And here's the ways that you're going to present yourself, and here's the style of clothes you're going to wear, and so on and so forth. And here's the sort of things that are taboo for you to say or do, and blah, 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 blah. And not everyone fits in that mold, and plenty of people don't, in fact, and they don't necessarily want to identify with those. Or even if they do, maybe they want to identify with them in a different way. Maybe they want to change the idea about what those genders comprise, and we're totally within our ability to do that because this is all formed by culture. Just in the same way that, you know, we're not beholden to hunting and gathering just because that's how our species evolved. We were able to invent agriculture. I wonder if there was a Ben Shapiro back in the days where agriculture was invented screaming that this is against the edicts of nature. You know, this naturalist fallacy argument, it always gets trotted out. They used to trot it out for gay people. Oh, these gays, you know, they sit there in their little butt fuck huts and they have their little gay sexes, and then they can't reproduce because, you know, guy and a guy can't make a baby. Girl and a girl can't make a baby. It's against nature. It's against God. And, you know, now they've, some of them have moved on to now it's the trans people. No, it's against God. It's against nature. Blah, blah, blah. I care so deeply about nature. Well, I mean, everything that you're doing right now is against fucking nature. You know, you have a laptop that didn't grow on a fucking tree last I checked. All the technology and clothing and the fucking modern world that you talk about as being this great thing, especially like at the beginning, you started this with like, we got to build things. It's like, well, everything we build is in defiance of nature. Everything that we create, whether it be a social concept or a physical piece of equipment, hardware, whatever. That's all the fruits of the human mind and the human imagination. So I don't know. I don't understand why all of a sudden, when it comes to certain particular issues, we all of a sudden have to have this great respect and reverence for nature, especially when we don't even know what fucking nature has to say on this issue. We know, based on scientific evidence, that the brains of trans people are different than the brains of cis people, but we don't even really understand the brain. So, I mean, like, it's pretty early to fucking start just, like, tossing this out there. Like, what you're saying is basically because we have sexual dimorphism in terms of there's women, there's females, and there's males, basically, that means that the societal concepts of what sorts of, like, behaviors and modalities accompany those fucking genitalia are just like also equally entrenched in nature. But we know that's not true because these gender norms don't fucking present the same from culture to culture. Culture fucking affects what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman within a particular culture. And plenty of cultures that have existed throughout history have acknowledged third options for gender. There's been plenty of fucking times throughout history where different fucking, and to this day, where different gender identities have expressed themselves and have been acknowledged and have been socially recognized without those civilizations that recognize the third genders or the non-gendered people or whatever. As you know, the societies have recognized the expressions of that without collapsing. Strangely enough, it's almost like this is stupid and it doesn't matter, and it should just be like a fucking cat. Like I don't identify as either man or woman. Okay, whatever, fine. You want a bagel? You know what I mean? Like, why can't it be like that? Why does it got to be this fucking? Oh my God, civilization is ending. Civilization is being destroyed. Civilization is, oh, wah, boo-hoo. Western civilization, something's going to happen to it because we done this. And it's just like, where's the argument, bitch? Where is even like the beginning of a shred of a fucking argument for why this is even the case? I'm not hearing it. I'm 4 minutes in now. Still ain't heard it.
Civilization have decided to abandon that on behalf of higher falutin ideals like, can we make sure that no carbon ever enters the atmosphere, or at least pretend to? Right? We have to make sure that gender fluidity is
highfalutin values like not destroying the planet. Like, wait, you really just fucking poo-poo? Like, once again, this is a guy that's funded by fracking billionaires who just was like, so what are we supposed to do? All these highfalutin values like, don't pollute the earth? Not even let a little shred of carbon in the atmosphere? Like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't. Like, it's catastrophic. Like, every single prediction of climatologists in the lead up to climate change, they predict. What do they predict? They predicted increased drought conditions. We've seen that. They predicted stronger and stronger hurricanes. We've seen that. They predicted exponential every year, new heat records being broken. That's now the case. Back in 1988, when they first did the Kyoto Protocols, that was the hottest year on record. 1988 was the hottest year on record. And then, you know, now 1988 is like a fucking wet dream. It's a wet dream. But I can't believe you actually, like, you just compared, like, that's like a tangible thing. Like, you went from, like, social things where at least there's some subjectivity. Like, you know, whether, like, if you want to believe, like, I believe that gender is, like, a complete construct. Now, sex is not a construct. That actually exists. But gender is a total fucking construct. It's a total invention of the human mind. So, when you talk about that and you say, there's only two genders, that at least to me is like a subjective thing, because human beings created gender. Human beings intersubjectively get to define what gender is and what it isn't. So if you're advocating for there should be two genders and that's how society should be organized, that at least has a like subjectivity in it. But carbon, CO2 in the atmosphere causing climate change, which we've seen disastrous results from, that's not a matter of fucking opinion. There's no subjectivity there whatsoever. So tossing that out, really fucking bizarre, and just silly. Oh, and we're at 420 in the video. Interesting.
prized above the survival of civilization, right? These are things that matter. And to pretend that they're not in conflict is very silly. A civilization that embraces fiction about the nature of biological sex is a civilization that is doomed to...
What fiction did they never said anything about biological sex. This is about gender. I'm sure it's been explained to you like 20,000 times, the difference. there's many ways in which the two things can be correlated, but they're not the same. So stop.
Move away from reality. A civilization that rejects truth on behalf of sensitivity is a civilization that cannot exist for very long in the real world. Reality always has its revenge. It'd take just
I love that he says that right after he ignores the truth of climate change. He's like, carbon in the atmosphere never hurt nobody. These people deny the truth. It's like, oh my God. Once again, another famous, world famous Ben Shapiro projection. This dude should fucking moonlight as a fucking projector. Fucking the Ben Shapiro Drive-In Theater.
One indicator, really interesting piece by Susie Weiss over at Barry Weiss's Substack. Susie is Barry's sister. And it's called First Comes Love, Then Comes Sterilization. Rachel Diamond looks like most of the moms at the Park Slope Cafe where we meet. She's wearing a green t-shirt under a black corduroy jumper, sensible shoes, carries a smart leather bag. She sips a $4 iced chai, except the 31-year-old isn't a mom, and she never will be. You know, Diamond says cheerily, I never expected to be the poster child of sterilization. On the aspiring actor's TikTok, one finds short, funny videos about Diamond's job working the register at a cafe near Union Square, and updates on her rescue pit bull, Rue, who has anemia. Mixed in are clips extolling her child-free life. They have titles like Sterilization Attempt Number 3 and Being Child-Free. We do know what we're missing. It's been 5 months since she had her fallopian tubes cut, not tied, and she has 64,000 followers. Growing up near Hershey, Pennsylvania, Diamond always assumed she'd have a family of her own. Then came college at Arcadia University, her political awakening away from her conservative roots and toward progressivism, and a therapist, who she then found online a few months after graduation, who made her realize that being spanked as a child was deeply traumatic, and that it made her fear authority figures like her father. She decided she never wanted to be one herself. Never, ever, ever. Looking back, I never pretended my American Girl dolls were children.
Are we still talking about the same thing here? What's going on? So now we're listening to some weird fucking story about some random person out there in the world who got sterilized because they didn't want to have kids. So what? Like, what's the problem, man? What is the fucking issue? Ugh. Okay.
And they were always my sister, she said. There were little things showing.
Isn't that like your choice? Like, isn't that like one of the cornerstones of supposedly what conservatives care about, liberty? It seems like they like the word liberty a lot. They don't like the concept very much at all. Because it seems to me like a pretty fundamental liberty would be like, I have the liberty to decide not to reproduce. I do not have to have children if I don't want them. Seems like a pretty fucking fundamental right if you're going to claim to have any fucking semblance of liberty. What do you want, Ben? Mandatory fucking birth? Of course you do. You're a pro-lifer. But man, I swear, if the conservatives ever do get to the point where they win on the abortion issue once and for all, and it's like abortion is banned throughout the land, the next thing is going to be like forced breeding. Because it's that fucking crazy with them. You hear this motherfucker talking right now? This motherfucker is up here talking like a person does not have the right to choose not to breed. You do not have the right to choose not to reproduce, is basically what I'm getting from this fucking asshole at this point. Or at least, at the very least, like anybody who chooses not to reproduce should be like very bullied, very discouraged from that course in life. Like, you must have children. It is the only thing for which you exist. Reproduce. He's basically like a less subtle version of the fucking sign from They Live, where Rowdy Roddy Piper's character puts on the glasses and sees that the billboard what it really says beneath the billboard is marry and reproduce. That's the subconscious signal. And I thought, a giant billboard that just says marry and reproduce in big fucking black box lettering is actually more subtle than Ben Shapiro here talking about the same fucking issue. Marry and reproduce. Marry and reproduce. Someone somewhere chose not to have children. Someone somewhere chose to be sterilized. This is the end of civilization, my friends. It's all over with now. People are making choices that are in their own interest instead of the interest of the mega organism that I represent. And let's be honest, let's be real here. You know who Ben Shapiro's fucking master is? I've mentioned his name to you a few times. His name is Economos. Because this is what Economos wants. Economos wants you to marry and reproduce. Why does he want that? Because his economy is based on perpetual growth. Grow, 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 always growing. More mouths to feed, more consumers, more workers to exploit. Keep fucking doing it. Keep fucking pumping new fucking units out there so that Economos can fucking exploit them. This cocksucker's in the pocket of Economos. We know it. We know that. It's fucking demonstrable. It's demonstrable who funds him. And it's pretty clear who he gets his talking points from. It's the business class. It's the moneyed interest. It's the fucking servants of Economos. He's like a few rungs down. You got Economos on the top of the fucking pyramid. I am the great Economos. You shall obey all that I say. And then below that is like the business magnates, the fucking billionaire class, the rich people. And then below that is the political elites, the fucking, senators and the generals and all that shit, president. Then below that is the real media figures, like the real, actually important media figures. And then below that is the bullshit like Ben Shapiro, the fucking fringe media figures that are designed to, take your fucking right-wing frustrations and channel them into things that are productive for Economos, things that Economos likes, like breeding. That's an important thing. Gotta breed. Gotta have more children, more people, more workers, more consumers. All hail Economos. All hail Economos. All hail Economos. All hail Economos.
That I wasn't preparing myself for motherhood. I think for me, it's as innate as saying I've always wanted to be a mom. Diamond is hardly an outlier, says Susie Weiss. Americans are making fewer babies than we've made since we started keeping track in the 1930s. Some women, like Diamond, are not just putting off pregnancy, they're eliminating the possibility of it altogether. Last year, the number of deaths exceeded that of births in 25 states, up from 5 the year before. The marriage rate is at an all-time low, 6.5 marriages per 1,000 people. Millennials are the first generation where a majority are unmarried, about 50.
Celebrate good times. Come on. Bum, 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 bum. Good. Good. Less people is good. Fuck more people. We have enough. We're good. Less is better. As far as people go, here's my concept. Less of us is better. Especially, we don't need people. Like a lot of the stuff that we need more and more people for, we don't need them for it anymore. Why? Because now we live in the age of computing. We're soon to live in the age of quantum computing. We're soon to live in the age of advanced robotics. The necessity for more and more people. At some point, they're not going to be this great resource to be tapped anymore by Economos. Economos, see, the fatal flaw of Economos is really that Economos is a stupid god. Economos does not care further in the future than short-term quarterly profits. That's all Economos really loves. Short-term quarterly profits. Bring them to Economos. Bring the short-term quarterly profits to Economos so that he may revel in them. Ah, yes. Short-term quarterly profits are up. Yes. Economos is pleased. Economos doesn't give a fuck about 20 years from now. Economos doesn't give a fuck about 40 years from now. 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 1,000. Doesn't care. Economos only cares about short-term quarterly profits. Economos is a very short-sighted god, and it filters down to all of his little stooges, and Ben Shapiro is one of them. Another little short-sighted termite. doesn't think fucking further than the edge of his goddamn nose. That's about as far in the future as he can see. Just like, is that the future? Around here, it starts to get blurry. I just don't know.
6%. They're also more likely to live with their parents than previous generations were in their 20s and 30s. They also aren't having sex. The number of young men ages 18 to 30 who admit they've had no sex in the past year tripled between 2008 and 2018. Cities like New York, where secular young Americans flock to build their lives, are increasingly childless. In San Francisco, there are more dogs than children. Any of this speak of a civilization in growth mode?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you lived in any other time and place, then it wouldn't, no. But I would say two things. I'd say, one, why do we always need to be in growth mode? How come we can't ever, okay, so I do a show. It's called Deep Fat Fried. We shoot that show in bulk. You know, we have days where we shoot 6 episodes of Deep Fat Fried. And we shoot them at such a rate that we put them out, but we also bank some. We have like a little Deep Fat Fried vault that contains multiple episodes of the show that we plan to release in the future. We have also, we have 2 different schedules. We have a schedule where we bank episodes, and we have a schedule where we just replacement rate. If we have a large enough bank, if we have 2 months worth of shows in the bank, we don't just continuously make more and more and more and more and more. Because at a certain point, it becomes a waste of your fucking resources to just devote yourself to constant grow. Because they would get to a point, if we just went hog wild with it, where we'd have like 6 years worth of episodes. You know what I mean? And it would be like people would they'd be watching an episode, be like something that was recorded fucking 5 years ago. It's like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That's insane. And what Ben Shapiro is talking about here is fucking insane to me. Because it's just like, we just need to constantly be in growth mode. But even if growth mode was good, we're no longer at a point in human history where growth is contingent on more fucking asses in chairs, more boots on the ground, more fucking humans cluttering up the highways and byways of the goddamn world. We don't need that anymore. We have computers now. We have robots and computers. Like, we don't need everybody who's flipping a burger right now, as far as the economy goes, pretty much fucking redundant. And if they're not redundant now, they will be soon. Truck drivers, soon to be fucking redundant economically, not as people, of course. Plenty of fucking people, plenty of jobs in this economy are either already obsolete, but we just haven't gone through the trouble of replacing them, or they're soon to be obsolete due to automation. Automation's already fucking deprived plenty of people of jobs. I mean, people always act like automation's in the future. We've literally been automating away jobs for fucking like a century now. So, I mean, more than that probably. Pretty much since the birth of like industrial society, we've been automating away jobs. But it's getting to the point now where it's going to be like a shit ton of jobs. Retail jobs, burger flipper jobs, working in kitchens and most in like fast food restaurants at least. Wait staff, truck drivers, certain sort of like niche surgeons, and medical professionals. Their jobs can actually be done better by machines even now. There's a machine right now that can do, I think it's dialysis, it's anesthesia. There's a machine that can do it. It basically is better than at anesthesiology. Thank you. Than an actual anesthesiologist, right? So that already exists. They've been suppressed by the medical industry because obviously all those dudes who worked for 8 years to get this fucking medical degree and specialize in anesthesiology are not too keen on the idea that a machine comes along and does their job better than them. But the point is that so many of these jobs are becoming irrelevant, all right? And we don't need more and more people. We have less and less need for more and more people. Computationally, like the brilliance of human beings is going to be usurped by machines that can think better than we can think. A lot of these fucking notions of like we need more and more people to accomplish some sort of great social goals, economic goals, whatever. It's passe. It's old hat. You're like thinking like a caveman at this point. Yeah, this growth, this idea that the growth of our economy still needs to be tethered to the growth of human beings is stupid. It should be tethered to the growth of technology. Period.
It used to be.
We should work on improving the quality of human beings, not the quantity. I think the means by which to do that, by the way, transhumanism.
Wives that people wanted to make babies. Women, especially, but also men. That was a healthy young person's default.
Yeah, imagine if we had like a fully automated economy with a robust UBI. Boom. Holy shit. Holy shit. All of a sudden, we're living in a fucking goddamn, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a utopia, but it's a fucking lot better than this.
Position. Our existence.
Art as well, yeah. There's going to come a day when AIs can make a better fucking movie than a human being. There's going to come a day where they can paint a better picture. They could even they can come up with insights about human beings. Like, imagine that you have a machine that has like a rich, super detailed psychological profile of you in its little computer brain, right? It's smarter than a human being, and it is designed to understand and manipulate human beings on a psychological level. That's going to be a tremendous boon to propagandists. That's going to be a tremendous boon to movie studios and things of that nature, whether or game studio, whatever, because you're going to create whatever art they want. That's going to be able to influence their exact demographics. They're going to fucking be able to broad appeal shit. They're going to be able to micro niche target shit. They're going to fucking create so much fucking IP with that, but they're also going to totally brainwash you and manipulate you into fucking believing exactly what they're not going to need the Ben Shapiros of the world anymore at that point. You know, whatever represents conservatism in the future, they're going to have some sort of AI generated fucking algorithm that, you know, targets every fucking weird little conservative impulse that these like right wingers have. Same thing for the left wing. Same thing for the liberals. Same thing for whatever political paradigms might emerge in the future. It'll all just be you'll just be micromanaged by highly intuitive, psychodynamic robots that can read your fucking thoughts, basically. Maybe literally, by the way. But if not literally, then at least, you know, be able to, you know, create complex psychological profiles of you based on, you know, whatever observations they're able to glean from every activity of yours that they can possibly observe, whether that be your, like, internet browsing history or, like, what you've written in documents, what you've said on social media, you know, what you've ordered from, you know, Amazon. It's just going to get fucking crazier and crazier until, you know, they'll be able to fucking psychologically manipulate you into whatever position they need you in and just be like, all right, here's what you are now. Here's your marching orders. Go do the fucking bidding. You know, and even the people who think they're like working against the powers that be are really just going to be, you know, pawns on the fucking chessboard. You know, go to E3. You know what I mean?
Depended on it. We wanted to do other.
That was kind of a fucking. I got mad at him for going so far afield, but then I just went off in a fucking goddamn futurist la la land there. So whatever.
Other things, of course. The great post-feminist challenge was how to have it all. But for an increasing number, the question now isn't how to have it all. It's why do it at all. This psychological reversal didn't just happen.
Why don't you answer the question, Ben? Why don't you just answer that question? Seems like that's a fucking great setup. You just fucking answer. Like, if I was doing this segment, I'd have fucking stopped right there And I'd have been like, all right, I'm going to answer that. Here's why you should do it. You know? Because that would be the actual refutation, right? To actually have some kind of compelling reason, like, here's why you should breed. But you got nothing. You got nothing. So you're just going to fuck. I don't even know how we got on this subject. We started at X on the passport. Now we've gone to, like, breeding. Mandatory breeding or whatever the fuck is going to be advocated here.
Took place inside the hurricane of spiritual, cultural, environmental forces swirling around us. But the message from this young cohort is clear. Life is exhausting enough, and the world is broken and burning. Who would want to bring new, innocent life into a criminally unequal society situated on a planet with catastrophically rising sea levels? According to
seems like a bunch of fair complaints.
New poll, 39% of Gen Zers are hesitant to procreate for fear of the climate apocalypse.
Maybe you should, like, fix that problem then. I don't know. Like, that seems like a pretty valid reason. Like, why are we going to create more people when it already looks like this world is fucked? By the way, shouldn't you be touting like, you by your own admission, like, throughout this segment, you've said society is collapsing. Now, the reasons you've given for why it's collapsing are wrong, but society, yeah, I mean, things are collapsing. They're collapsing because of the reason that the Gen Zers are fucking freaking out about it. Society's collapsing because we're, like, in the midst of a goddamn series of climate catastrophes. And you work for the people precipitating them. So, of course, you can't blame them, and you have to act like these concerns are ridiculous, but they're not ridiculous. They're backed by literally more than a century at this point of scientific data and analysis. I think we first found the correlation between CO2 and I learned this today, by the way, because Scotty actually did an episode on some of these topics. I think it was the 1860s that scientists first started to correlate CO2 and rising, global temperatures. They called it carbonic acid back in those days. But still, yeah. Pretty fucking crazy shit. Those people, though, they thought that, the climate the warming was gonna be good. It's gonna be like, wow. And they didn't think we were ever gonna release enough. They thought it was gonna be like over, thousands of years because, we don't put that much carbon in the fucking atmosphere. But of course, now we put so much more than we did, back in 1867 or whatever the fuck.
Which is just insane, guys. I'm sorry, you're crazy.
Okay, so being concerned about legitimate problems recognized by 99.9% of scientists who study the issue, being concerned about that, for which there's mountains of scientific data stretching back to the 1860s, and tons of new data and information analysis happening all the time. Being concerned about that, and when we see the effects already happening in the world, we see that some of the most dire predictions of climate change, like the sea level is demonstrably rising. There is demonstrably drought consuming the fucking western third of the country. There has demonstrably been stronger and stronger hurricane seasons here in the fucking South. We've demonstrably seen hotter and hotter temperatures on record. There's like so much actual data to support fucking climate change, but the people who are concerned about that are ridiculous, according to Ben Shapiro. But the people concerned with you being able to be able to gender identify as an X on your passport, the people who are concerned about that are super reasonable, apparently. This is the wacky, weird, and upside-down goddamn world of Ben Shapiro, where down is up is down, facts are feelings, and feelings are facts. This guy is such a fucking grade A dipshit doofus. I can't even imagine I know that there have been people who've debated Ben Shapiro. Like, what sort of force of will those people must have to not just reel back and smack this dude in his fucking face. I mean, like, the patience of saints. Anybody who has been in the same room as Ben Shapiro and not hit him, I think deserves some kind of humanitarian award for their incredible restraint and just like amazing kindness of spirit and compassion. Because I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could fucking do it, man. Oh. I mean, it's bad, guys. He's got to be one of the most disingenuous human beings to ever walk the face of the goddamn earth. I swear. I mean, like, the things that he pretends matter, they're ludicrous. They're absolutely baffling and ludicrous.
A nationally representative study of adults in Michigan found over a quarter of adults are child-free by choice.
Cool.
So basically,
Great.
we have decided that all the hallmarks of being an adult, all the hallmarks of adjusting to reality and building a civilization have been thrown over in favor of a false pursuit of gender identity and hedonism.
Oh, yeah. And all those, I'm sure all those 25% were all, it was all had to do with gender. Were they like, wait, huh? Ben, could it ever just, maybe it's just as simple as this, guy. 25% of people don't want kids. 25% of people look at the prospect of being parents and say, not for us. And that personal decision that has no bearing on you whatsoever is somehow like this insane affront to your being. And why is that? Why are you so concerned about whether other people breed? What is your obsession with other people having children? Well, I already explained it, right? All hail Economos! All hail Economos! Economos wants more workers. Economos wants more consumers. Economos wants to keep the economy growing, and the only way Economos knows how to do it is more and more people, because Economos is stupid. Economos only responds to the short-term quarterly gains. Economos doesn't see the big picture. Economos doesn't realize that the paradigm has shifted. Economos doesn't realize that he now sits upon a fucking crumbling throne. He's in denial mode. And that means all of his little slave pigs, like Ben here, are in denial mode. We're always gonna have an economy, Ben. But this weird economic reality that's been implanted in your brain by the fracking billionaires that program every word that comes out of your fucking robot mouth. I wish I could just talk to them directly. Could you guys, hey, if the fracking billionaires that fund Ben Shapiro would like to step out from behind the curtain there and tell me what they really think, that'd be neat. Because this guy, he's got a fucking hand up his ass. He's a puppet. He might as well be Kermit the fucking Frog. I don't respect. This is not a human being with thoughts and fucking opinions. This is a mouthpiece for fucking corporate interests. This is a fucking Economos slave pig that's yammering in my fucking direction right now. Trying to channel the frustrations of the American people. Who's to blame? Who's really to blame for your problems? Could it be the elites? No. Them elites, they good, they pure, they innocent. They just want to give you goods and services and create jobs. That's all they want to do. You know it really is. It's them damn gender non-binaries. And them damn women what doesn't want to be baby factories. It's their fault. It's their fault things ain't going well. Damn immigrants coming in. Yeah, it's all them. It's all them. Fight amongst each other. Ha 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 ha. Economos loves it. Economos loves it. He's up there on his fucking throne watching you fight. Yes. 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 You see what I did there? I turned them all against one another. Now they'll never see my hand at work. Oh, he's a crafty one, that Economos. He's not smart in that long-term way, but in that short-term way, very tricky.
That's essentially the trade. The trade is you get to have a good time in the moment and feel.
The trade is you get on here on the Ben Shapiro show, and you say a bunch of bullshit nonsense, and you fearmonger and you saber rattle, and you talk about the end of civilization, and then you get a big old fat paycheck, and you go home and you watch Jamal plow your wife. And that's how you do it. All right. Good to know, Ben. Seems like a good trade, buddy.
Feel morally self-righteous as your civilization dies. By the way, there are other civilizations out there. So you can pretend that our civilization dying is somehow a good thing because of all of our historic excesses and all of the problems with our civilization. Just understand, there are other people out there who are waiting to take over, and they are far, far worse than our civilization in virtually every way.
First, you put the X on the passport. Then, you stop making the babies. And then, they take over. Oh no, it's they. Behold, they are here. It's they. Yes. We are they. Our values are pure evil. Everything that you love, we hate. Everything that you create, we destroy.
Oh no. Oh no! What a fucking joke.
But our civilization is now socially suicidal, and this has massive consequences.
That's a cool band name. Socially Suicidal. I like it. It's very nice. Very nice band name. I want to see Ben. Okay, hold on. Let's fucking do it, guys. Let's fucking get it. They'll be more fun than this shit, that's for sure. I like it. I'm inspired. My creativity is inspired. He spends most of his time looking down at this fucking screen. Whoa, that's pretty metal, actually. We need a more metal face than that, though. Where's Ben Shapiro's most metal face? He looks... Oh, my God, he looks so sad here. Look at him. Look at this sad fucking dude. I'd be sad, too, if I had to fucking say this bullshit every day. He must know on some level that he's a monster. All right. Let's see. I may gotta find something somewhere else. Hold on. We're gonna do this, though. I've decided this is more fun. Ben Shapiro. Oh, this is a pretty metal face. It's definitely the one we got to use. Hold on. We're gonna do some photoshopping, folks. You guys want to do a little photoshopping? Sounds fun, right? All right.
Sport.
Shut up, Ben.
That you're a Bon Jovi fan. Like,
Quiet. Ben, shut up. Chelsea, if you're still awake, check the sausages, baby. Fuck, what the hell happened here? Ugh. Hold on, I gotta figure this out. I like pulled a screen between two screens and now... Okay, there we go. Couldn't tell where it fucking began. Thanks for the content while I'm at work. Also, thank y'all for getting me into Dune. Love the film. I'm gonna read the book. Cool, man. Hope you like it. See, I think the film is actually a great trailer for the book because it gives you a lot of the fucking cool story elements, but the book is going to go so much deeper into like character motivations and shit. So I feel like that's really cool. I feel like the movie really was a great fucking success for me, but you know, I know that not everyone feels the same or whatever. But yeah, let's have some fun with Ben, man. Let's see. What can we do with this guy? I want to put him in this. We were doing socially suicidal, right? So I'm going to put him in a band. First thing I'm going to do. I probably could just... sorry, they have a better tool for this, probably. See if that should select him pretty well. All right. So, oops. I'm gonna select him first here. Okay. Probably just kind of like soft edge the fucking face there. Not that soft. Still too soft. That level is. Yeah, okay. Let me see. You know, I probably should have started with the fucking band, because I'm going to have to see if I could find this angle. I need like a generic looking fucking rock band, but I need to look punk. Punk band. Too stock photo-y. Lame. They need to look badass. But not too recognizable. Dude, I didn't think about this, but some kind of like chick band or whatever the fuck they call themselves these days. I think Ben's face would look really fucking perfect right there as the middle chick or whatever the fuck. Let's get this shit on. Yeah, I'm already digging it. Yeah. This is gonna work. I feel it. I feel it in my soul. Just gotta cut this out here. Sorry, I stick my tongue out when I concentrate. Because I'm a fucking doofus. Alright, here we go. Fuck did his head go? Oh, it's fucking invisible there. I gotcha. This is fucking way better than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, you guys, hold on. I have to take you off the screen for a second so you guys can really appreciate this. Oh my god. Oh, Ben. Oh. Oh my god. Yes. Oh. Wow. Wow. Let's see now. We're not done yet. We have a very metal font. Like a punk font. Punk. And you go punk rock motherfucking. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That'll do it. Isn't it like societal? Was it societal suicide? Or like suicidal society or whatever the fuck? Was it suicidal society or societal suicide? I'm going with societal suicide. That sounds funner. More fun. Whatever you want to say. I don't judge how you talk, eh? All right. Oh, I gotta, okay. Is it with a 1? Oh, there it is. Okay. I see how that was spelled out. Well, wait a minute. That's not right. It's supposed to have fucking skulls in it. Well, that's a fucking ripoff. The O is supposed to have a skull in it. It don't have no damn skull. Fuck this font. Fucking lied to. Alright, fine. Fuck you. I'll find something better. That might be cool. Alright. I don't know why I erased it. Oh, there it is. Oh, I guess it does it at random. Ah, you gotta actually type with it. Alright, cool. I guess it works now. It doesn't do it at random, but I don't know. For some reason, the skulls now work, but they didn't before. So, whatevs. I don't want to cover up this chick's shirt. Yeah, maybe like dead center right beneath his fucking creepy ass weird face. Make that like yellow. You know, I'm gonna like do like I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna play with that later. Just get the placement right first. See, that D doesn't have the skull. I want the fucking skull, bitch. Oh, it's the lowercase. It doesn't have it in fucking uppercase. That's weird. Okay. I get it, I guess. Societal suicide. I guess I am covering up her shirt, but there's no avoiding it. You can still tell she's wearing a fucking cool shirt, whatever. Okay. So, let's see. Societal. I'm thinking I'm gonna like make societal kind of like yellow or something. But I don't want some boring, so I find like some kind of cool texture with it. That's neat. I like this. All right. Yeah. No, that's not what I want. God damn it, I'm so fucking stupid. I want to fucking do a goddamn clipping mask. Jesus. All right, here we go. Blending option. Let's see. I need some kind of stroke on it to even see what the fuck is happening. Yeah. Damn it. Shut up. Fucking stupid thing. All right. So I want like a blue. Like a sad blue. Yeah. Maybe this. Copy image. Yes. Fucking layer selected. Don't select that. Fucking piece of shit. Stop. I don't know, I keep trying to select the fucking goddamn background shit. Literally press it here. Look, see? Press that. Select that fucking thing. Thank you. Alright, cool. Alright, yeah. Now, suicide. Can like put it right there. Like just enough opacity that you can kind of see through it a little bit. Same here. Nope, too much. There we go. All right. I'm pretty happy with it. He needs a big nose ring. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Let me look at some nose rings. Nose ring, nose ring. 1 hour. What is 1 hour? Till Halloween, yeah. That's true. I need a really good direct one. Let's see. Too much. I don't feel like photoshopping that much shit. All right. I'm gonna give him this chick's piercings here. I don't need all that shit. We just need this part. So it looks like at this level, her little studs are basically nothing. So you just have to like grab up a few little pixels there. Just kind of like, this might even be too much. I don't know, it might even be just grab the fucking colors from them. Like get some grays maybe. Just get like the general fucking color. Real small little brush, maybe? I don't know. It's really not even worth trying to fucking, let's do like a size 4. Yeah, and like, make it like softish. That's even bigger. I don't know, maybe like 3? 3 pixel little brush. Okay. Alright, get out of here. Go away. Yeah. Yeah. And then like, I don't know, there's like a little white area in those too. At least on that one. Just look down one. Yeah, if you're a Photoshop person, you probably see like several ways I could do things faster. I could definitely streamline it if I was like more attentive to that kind of shit, but I guess I'm not, so. I feel like these have a little bit more going on. Like this square doesn't really seem to have any sort of representation over here. So, maybe like one there, like a couple right here. Now I feel like I need something light there to suggest that is going on. So maybe just a couple more of that thing there. Alright. Let's see. Do I buy that from a distance? I think so. Okay. And then this thing we'll just grab. Alright, so just gonna cut it out real careful like. Alright. Okay. All right. There we are. Oh shit. I put those on the same layer, I guess. Hold on. There you go. TJ is good at the Mario Paint. I would just draw it on and ignore the pixels. Yeah, you really can't even tell I did it at this distance, but yeah. I mean, I could just zoom in more on him. Moron. Let's see. I have to... Alright, I'm just going to combine every layer that's not this and this. Where's the other one? There we go. Just to make it easier on myself here. All of these layers will be combined. And now we're just going to zoom more in on Ben. Because these girls add ambiance, but I honestly think he's stealing the show at this point. We might even sacrifice one of these girls. Yeah, there you go. You can still see him. But now Ben is right where he belongs. Front and center. No, Ben. You don't get to go down there. Like some kind of like some kind of grungy white shit. That looks good. Yeah. This is it, you guys. This is it. Fucking badass. Anyway. As you were saying, Ben. Let's see. I guess I have to kill the music. Let Ben talk. Where were we?
Virtually every Western country is now experiencing massive drops in births.
Okay.
It's happening pretty much everywhere, according to Pew Research. Mm-hmm. In Italy, Japan, France, Belgium, they're among the nations that have reported sudden drops in births about 9 months after the start of the pandemic compared with the previous year.
Yeah.
Some worry that a baby bust will create societal age imbalances and strain healthcare and retirement systems while also eventually stripping the economy of young workers who tend to drive innovation and growth. Mm-hmm. Okay, meanwhile, you can tell, by the way, that these been dying civilizations for a while, considering how many kids are now being born out of wedlock. One of the fundamental institutions of society is marriage. Why? Because it civilizes men. Marriage was designed to civilize men. It was designed to allow women to grow up in intact, to allow children to grow up in intact homes.
Economos wants this as well. Marry and reproduce, the sign said, remember? It didn't just say reproduce, it said marry and reproduce. Because they want men working to provide for their families. They want women out there working to provide for their families. A man on its own, or his own, or a woman on her own for that matter, maybe doesn't care as much about, fucking spending. Like, you have kids, that's like a resource drain, right? That's more time. You're going to spend so much money on, the cost of raising a kid just goes up and up and up. Tons of money. Makes you a good little fucking consumer. You don't have any kids? You're not a good little consumer, maybe. Maybe you still are. But maybe you're not. Maybe you're just more like, we don't need that. Because you're just looking out for your own comfort at that point. If you're in a childless marriage like what I have with Chelsea, our main concern is what we need. What's going to make our lives as comfortable as possible, right? And the only other life forms we have to consider are our pets, but they're not nearly as expensive as children are, and they, are pets, so their role in society, they have no larger function in society. They're just there, for us. And so, we're not as big spenders and stuff. We buy things when we need them. We don't have to constantly buy clothes. We don't have to buy fucking diapers and all this other stuff. We don't have to buy baby food. We don't have to buy all the stuff associated with kids because we don't have them. We don't want them. And that's why Economos doesn't like that. Economos doesn't like people who can, save their money. Economos doesn't like when people aren't out there spending, when people aren't fucking out there hustling every day, working a shitty, unforgiving, thankless job so they can feed more mouths and keep Economos fucking happy. And it's just like, you know what? If this dude's fucking top concern was liberty, he'd be all about it. He'd be like, you know what, friend? I respect that you have the right to go out there and, not have kids. I personally am going to have lots of kids. And it's like, wow. It's almost like we should each just be entitled to our own fucking choice, right? Like, what you want in life is, I want to have a traditional, in my view, nuclear family structure. Awesome. Cool. Go ahead. Awesome, dude. I love it. You have fun. I personally would be miserable in that, but you go ahead, man. Rock on. It's fun for you, I guess. Or it's your duty or whatever the fuck. Obviously, it fucking yanks some chain you got, so go ahead and fucking do it. And have at it. But why the fuck do I have to do that? I don't. I'm free to just not do it. And you can just respect that and not try to sell people on the idea that it's like the end of civilization or whatever. Because it's not. Civilization is going to be just fine. At least it's not under any threat from childless people. If anything, people who don't have kids are contributing less to the problem. Because, no kid means no giant carbon footprint that kid creates. So from a ecological standpoint, it's actually like better. So the actual existential threat to the planet is being less exacerbated by me than it is by someone who has kids. Not that I want to restrict their right to do that, because I understand like human civilization must go on, unless you're like really like crazy anti-natalist or something, but I'm not. I don't know. This just seems silly. I feel like this is a personal fucking choice, personal decision, has nothing to goddamn do with whatever fucking societal collapse nonsense you've been talking for the last 9 minutes, 42 seconds.
And therefore have healthy lives and then become productive members of civilization themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage was a civilizing institution. We dumped it.
Mm-hmm.
We decided that personal self-fulfillment was much more important than giving a kid an actual life with two parents who care about them. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the The way you phrase that makes it sound like people who choose not to have children are like somehow depriving a child of like a home. There is no child. That's the point. Like, it doesn't exist. No one's being denied anything here.
Of opposite sexes, because a child does need a mother and a child does need a father.
Oh, you sent a Streamlab?
Right now, the share of live birth.
All right. Fair enough. Hold on. Let's see. Tucker White 94 said, "Is Benny just playing conservative bingo right now? How does any of this shit connect in any way to an X on a passport?" At this point, I'm wondering how a fucking X on a passport correlates to guns and communism. I mean, maybe he'll get around to it. He's got a little time left. He'll get around.
Births outside marriage. In the United States, it's 70% in the black community. It's 40% in the white community. It's true abroad. In France, 60.4% of kids are born outside marriage. This is as of 2018. In Sweden, it's 54.5%. In Denmark, it's 54%. If you think that has no relationship with the number of...
This is another fucking very libertarian stance here is that when two people love each other very much, they got to get the state involved, right? This is a very weird fucking argument. He's not only is he complaining about people who don't reproduce, now he's just complaining about people who do reproduce, but they don't do it within the confines of marriage. And by the way, if you made the same art, like basically just saying like the state belongs in your love life, you need to get your love life designated by the state, which a lot of people find reasons not to do. If it weren't for the, benefits of marriage, from a tax perspective, I think I would still be married to Chelsea, but I don't think I would have bothered to get like a legal framework involved in it. There's certain protections that, are recognized legally and stuff like that. So that's why I've chosen to be married, legally. As far as like marriage as a social institution, I believe in it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. But I don't think it matters from a perspective of law getting involved. And I feel like the only thing that should be required for two people to get married is just to like say they are, and to be publicly known as married. And I don't really feel like it should require like licensures and shit like that, or be like, a specially designated thing by, through the government's eyes. I do think that there should be like legal protections for spouses and shit like that. But I think that we have like, I'm pretty much all right with the state being involved in a number of things, but I think being involved in marriage is weird. I don't really see why it's super important that they are. I guess there are certain things that make sense from a legal perspective but they could probably be done in a way looser way. I think but I mean, like the point is, whether you agree with me or not about that, that would be a more libertarian position on this issue. I find it hilarious that Ben Shapiro in any way describes himself as having a love of liberty, or having any sort of connection to libertarianism, whether you're talking about big L or little L libertarianism. He doesn't meet the standard by any definition. I cannot think of a single issue I've ever heard Ben Shapiro speak on where he extolled freedom, other than maybe like, in the realm of capitalistic enterprise, because of course he's a butt boy for economos.
People who are on social assistance, you're out of your mind. If you think it's a healthy way for a society to grow, you're crazy. But maybe this is a society with a death wish. Maybe this is a society that has decided to sacrifice truth, logic, and decency in favor of the notion that we are bad and we deserve to go this way. Right? After all, we are a scourge on the earth. I think there is a strong reason.
You really do hear his masters when he does this shit, right? Like, when you imagine him as a puppet for a fracking billionaire, a lot of this shit that he's saying makes a lot more sense. Like all this stuff about like, I guess we all just need to go beat ourselves up over destroying the planet, quote unquote. It's like, you know, when you think about that as the cope of a fucking fracking billionaire speaking through this asshole, it makes a lot more sense, right? It makes a lot more sense to me.
Reason why, when you look at the actual reproduction rates in the United States, they're heavily associated with religion. They are striated by religion. Right now, the only people reproducing above replacement rates in the United States are people who are religious. Period. End of story. I mean, I'm looking at the rates right now. The fertility rates in the United States by religion among Catholics, 2.3. Among Mormons, 3.4. These are above replacement rates. Among Jews, 2.0. And among Orthodox Jews, like 4. Among Protestants, evangelical Protestants, it's 2.3. And then among atheists, 1.6. Agnostics, 1.3. As a society becomes more secular, as a society decides that the future doesn't matter and starts to undermine its own institutions and starts to embrace.
Wait, you're the one who thinks the future doesn't matter, dipshit. You're the one working for the people destroying the planet. If you think the future matters, then get on the right side. Stop overpopulating the world. Stop accepting money from fracking billionaires. Use your position to actually advocate for positive social change. Stop scapegoating trans people. Stop scapegoating childless people. Stop scapegoating people who don't wish to enter into a fucking government contract with their partner. Stop scapegoating all these other people for the problems created by the men that you work for. Ass face.
Fictional nonsense.
Sorry, I feel like I just insulted asses by saying that. I take it back.
On behalf of the subjective feelings of a few, the society begins to crumble. It also leads to absurdities like this story from BBC News. Quote, I've had someone saying they would rather kill me than Hitler, says 24-year-old Jenny. They said they would strangle me with a belt if they were in a room with me and Hitler. That was so bizarrely violent just because I won't have sex with trans women. Jenny is a lesbian woman. She says she is only attracted to women who are biologically female and have vaginas. She therefore only has sex and relationships with women who are biologically female. Jenny doesn't think this should be controversial, but not everyone agrees. She has been described as transphobic, a genital fetishist, a pervert, and a TERF, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. Jenny, who lives in London, says there's a common argument they try and use that goes, what if you met a woman in a bar and she's really beautiful, and you got on really well, and you went home and you discovered she had a penis? Would you just not be interested? Yes, because if someone seems sexually attractive at first, you can go off them. I just don't possess the capacity to be sexually attracted to people who are biologically male, regardless of how they identify. According to Carolyn Lowbridge, over at BBC News, I became aware of this particular issue after I wrote an article about sex, lies, and legal consent. Several people got in touch with me to say there was a huge problem for lesbians who are being pressured to accept the idea that a penis can be a female sex organ.
We're still talking about the passports, right? So this is weird digression number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depending on what you consider a digression, I guess. I guess this time around he's delving into the he's basically just trying to cast a wide net, right? He's trying to cast the widest net possible, trying to signal as much fucking resistance to changing social norms as possible. He's mad that people don't want to identify as the weird gender identity constructed by tradition that is foisted upon you when you're born with a dick or a vagina. He wants us to return to that. He wants us basically to regress in a fucking 1001 ways. And all of the problems of society are laid at on the feet of these social issues, and the actual problems of society are fucking ignored because he works for the people, once again, who facilitate them. So then, I don't know. Now we're talking about trans dating issues, and because everyone's so terrified that, you know, maybe they're going to take home a partner one day and the genitals aren't going to fucking be what they expect or something, and they don't want to be called a bigot just because they don't want to fucking, you know, suck the dick or whatever the fuck. There is not going to ever be a future where you are going to be expected or compelled to suck a dick or have sex with a person that you don't want to have sex with. whatever the reason may be. There is never going to come a time where you are going to be forced to have sex with someone that you don't want to. So you are always going to be allowed whatever sort of opinion you want on these topics. But what's been said is, hey, maybe you should think about why your preferences are the way they are. If someone is attractive to you before you know what junk they have, then maybe you should ask why that junk is such a big deal to you in the first place. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to ask yourself those questions, or you find that, you just can't, it's a bridge too far, a hurdle you can't possibly jump over, no one's going to force you to have sex with anyone, because that's rape. Society is not going to mandate that you be raped. So simmer down. No, it's never going to happen. I literally promise you, it's never going to happen. There's never going to be a day where the judge fucking bangs down the gavel and says, I hereby order you to, have sex with that transgender woman. And that's final. It's never going to happen. It's literally never going to happen. And if it does, I don't know. I guess I'll eat these words and give you a fucking apology. And then, you can go off and suck the dick or eat the pussy or whatever the fuck you need to do. But once again, this has nothing to do with anything. This is because this lesbian woman has gotten into some interpersonal kerfuffles, negotiating gender identities in her space, I guess. Because that's happening, we're all supposed to infer that society is crumbling. By the way, this is a dude who, 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, probably would view the lesbian woman as part of the crumbling of society. But now all of a sudden, he's her ally. Now all of a sudden, he's her good friend who's trying to, white knight for her sacred lesbian spaces. Negotiating this fucking issue is up to lesbians and transgender people and anybody who's in any intersection of those two fucking groups. That's for them to figure out. Ben Shapiro, who is neither trans nor lesbian, he doesn't give a shit about either of those things. He's a conservative. But above being even a conservative, he's a shill for big business and economos and the moneyed interests and the fracking billionaires that fucking pay for his show. So that's where his real ideological bonds lie, is with that. And everything that he said is really just feeding into what the moneyed interests, what the billionaire class want from us. They want us to breed. They want us to fucking multiply. And they want us to be divided on these social issues so that we can never fucking truly band together. Because, think about what's the biggest existential threat to the ruling class in this country. The biggest existential threat to the ruling class in this country, or really any other, is the combined might of the people that they rule over. And we all know, it's a fucking cliche at this point, divide and conquer, right? The divide and conquer strategy is figure out some way to keep your enemies from banding their strength together. And, to the billionaire class, everybody who's not part of their little club is an enemy, or at least a potential enemy. And so it's in their best interest to keep us divided on these social issues. And that's why you see Ben here poo-pooing trans people, and that's why you see other political forces, elevating trans people into the fucking, goddesses and gods of the world and shit. And we don't have any fucking sort of mechanism in place that's just like trans people are just ordinary people like everybody else. I think that's how most of us probably feel. Is just like, hey, you know, that's the kind of person that exists in the world, you know? And I don't think most people naturally on any level harbor any sort of like resentment towards trans people. I think that that's 100% instilled in us. And I don't think that we harbor any sort of like great reverence for trans people either. I think that's also 100% instilled in us. I think that most of us, you know, as a default, just would view a trans person as any other kind of fucking person. Just an individual that, you know, has this particular attribute. And it doesn't have any sort of larger social meaning. It's not really this complicated landmine of topics that we have to now carefully negotiate. It's just another kind of person living life. And you would think someone who goes around calling themselves a libertarian would maybe have some inkling of that sort of thought about this. But apparently no. Apparently it's a civilization-ending fucking plague that's going to destroy us all. Anyway.
I knew this would be a hugely divisive subject, but I wanted to find out how widespread the issue was. Ultimately, it has been difficult to determine the true scale of the problem because there's been little research on the topic. Only one survey to my knowledge. However, those affected have told me the pressure comes from a minority of trans women as well as activists who are not necessarily trans themselves. So apparently, this is now a major issue among lesbians, is that because of the stupidity of suggesting...
Wait, you just read a quote wherein the source that you're quoting right now just said that she has no idea how widespread the issue is. And your immediate words out of your mouth after saying that quote are, this is a major problem for lesbians. So even though the person that you're quoting said there's no way to know the fucking scope of the problem, if you even want to consider it a problem, you're now saying it's a major problem. Oh, it's a huge problem. It's a giant issue. I mean, like, the quote you read just now contradicts what your summary of it is. And I don't know how you get away with it. Like, I wish that these people down here that are like, oh, you're so right, Ben, you're so good. Oh, my God, yeah. I wish these people had, like, an ounce of critical thinking skills to where they could hear you say a quote and then say the opposite of what the quote said as if it were a summary of the quote and say, hey, wait a minute, he's lying, he's full of shit. But they just don't. I don't understand. I don't understand those people. What is it like to not think? That's my question at that point. What is it like to just have no thoughts in your fucking empty fucking heads and just be spoon-fed bullshit by this puppet? What is that like? What is it like to be you? Are you on a lower level of consciousness than me? Is that what's going on? Like, are you incapable of asking, like, basic questions? When someone reads, there's no way to know the scope of the problem, and then puts it down and says, so this is a major problem, you guys, huge in scope. And you're just like, yeah, I don't get you. Do you have thoughts, but they're just not about anything that's, like, happening around you? Like, you just hear Ben Shapiro's words and absorb them as if they're 100% truth? You get in the he speaks the truth zone, and you just don't question anything? Or what? Or is it just, like, a matter of stupidity? I guess, is it just, like, a lack of intellectual curiosity? Or is it, like, an incapacity? Like, are you too stupid to ask those sort of basic questions of Ben Shapiro? Or do you just not want to? Or do you ask them but then push them aside? Or do you ask them and then realize he's full of shit, but you just like what he's saying, so you go along with it? Like, what is the answer to that? Or is it various things for various people? I mean, surely it's a combination of those factors. I just want to know in what proportion. Because right now, I mean, like, my fucking leading explanation in my head is that you guys just have no actual awareness of reality around you. And that you're, like, I don't know, like, just functioning on a lower level than the people I know around me. Because, like, I don't know anybody that doesn't fucking like, just like, I guess I know a few people, but I feel that way about them too. Weird stuff. I don't know. We got a minute left. I'll just play through it.
Gender fluidity. Lesbians are being told that they must have sex with biological men. Because if they don't have sex with biological men...
By who? By randos on the internet? You must have sex with biological men. You must do it. There's no like binding authority saying this to them. So, and no one's saying they must have sex with anything. They're just being asked to question their biases. That's it. It's a fucking request, for fuck's sake. And if someone's threatening them over that, then that's wrong. And that person is obviously like unhinged at that point if they're getting that upset. But like the vast majority of people are just fucking asking people to like, hey, question that. If you're attracted to someone and then you go home and you find out they got like the wrong genitalia or the genitalia you don't expect or whatever, and you're like, whoa, ask why that is. What is the like, what's the problem? Like, what is the exact nature of the problem? Why does that exist within you? Is it really you, or is it something you've been instilled with, or what? Just fucking question it. That's all that anyone's asking you to fucking do, is just ask the question, like, why do I feel that way? You won't even do that. The fucking fact that you're asked to answer the fact that you're being asked to be interrogative about your own fucking thoughts and impulses and feelings and shit, the fact that you're actually expected to introspect, that alone is enough to engage you in these sort of like ridiculous histrionics about the fucking collapse of the goddamn world. I mean, it's just fucking silly. Can you not see that it's silly?
Men, this means that they are apparently straight because some biological men are women. And the illogic has no bounds. There are no limits to it. None. And so, as a civilization, would we like to die? Or are we as a civilization going to embrace basic truths that undergird institutions that allow for growth? Those are the choices before us. It's pretty obvious there's a whole group of people in politics who are opting for the former rather than the latter, that they are opting for a civilization in decline.
Yeah, like you. Once again, I mean, I know I've reiterated the point like 12 million times, but this guy works for the people who are actually destroying civilization. You can't trust, I mean, like, he can't trust a word that comes out of his fucking mouth. It's all suspect as fuck.
Because at least we'll have a good time on our way out. Because at least we will feel justified morally in overturning the structural oppressions of reality, because reality is full of structural oppressions. Reality is full of
You feel sorry for his kids? Don't. I guarantee he doesn't do shit to raise them. If anything, if he'd probably go, if he actually did fucking offer any advice to his kids, he'd probably tell a couple of them, like, go be like a liberal. Go out there and become a liberal pundit. You know, it'll be a nice contrast, you know? It'll be your little gimmick. You can go out there and be like a conservative. You be like, oh, yeah. Go out there and you be conservative, you know, Shapiro Jr. or whatever. And then you do the left grift, you know? He'd probably be fucking telling them. I guarantee they got, like, every fucking thing they want. Any fucking video game system or whatever those kids want, they get it instantly. They don't have to fucking deal with Ben. Ben Shapiro's not there dadding it up. He's rich. All that shit's fucking outsourced to other people, you know? He's not raising them damn kids. They barely see his ass. And when they do, they probably see the real Ben Shapiro, which who knows what that's like? Who knows? Maybe he's a fucking nice guy in real life. He's a piece of shit here because he's doing his little shill shtick. And who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's nothing like that. Maybe he's not even like uptight. Maybe this dude does fucking lines of coke off a hooker's ass every fucking Saturday night. I don't goddamn know. No one knows. I know that this fucking thing here is like a total fraud. This thing in front of me, this little animatronic being fucking animated by the fracking industry. You know, that's just like, beep, boop. If we let people put X's on their passports, then civilization as we know it will collapse. Let me tell you a story about a disgruntled lesbian. Oh, no.
Quality. Reality is full of difficulties. So if we just ignore those difficulties, if we restructure society around the idea that we can get rid entirely of reality, then we can put off the nightmares. We can put off having to adjust to civilization. And then, later if the civilization falls apart, I'm pretty sure, well, we did our best. At least we did the moral thing. How's this?
That was a good one, huh? Good shit. I loved it. Powerful. Spiritual. Hey, honey. How you doing? Good. Finish it off, baby. Conservatives are as doomer-pilled as Paul, just in the opposite direction. Yeah. They're doomer-pilled, but the things that they think are dooming us are just, like, idiotic and not at all the problem, but whatever. Well, I know he only did one video, but that is, like, basically 2 hours, 43 minutes, 8 seconds. I think that's pretty good. I think we had some fun here. The thumbnail really doesn't match anymore. Maybe I'll just make the thumbnail the fucking thing I put up for you guys here. I'll change that little thing we created. Because it was all about Benny Boy tonight. But yeah, I am planning to do a super long Abandon Hope next month. I actually have been toying around with the idea, and don't fucking hold me to it, but I've been toying around with the idea of doing a 24-hour Abandon Hope. And doing it like half public and half private, but I don't know. Maybe that's too ambitious for my old fucking ass to have to sustain this shit for that long. Let's see. Yeah, we should just put that there. TJ, no, you must stay. I gotta go, you guys. It's Halloween. It's my anniversary. I have cooking to do. I have to go cook some meatballs right now. I gotta go get some chicken skewers marinating. I gotta do a lot of stuff. It's my wedding anniversary about to happen. I want to be chilled and rested for the fucking party tomorrow. I got a novel that I'm trying to fucking get at least a rough draft of done before the end of this year. So I got that to work on. But I am really thinking, next month I'm going to do that 24-hour one, Just do it like, yeah, I was thinking about doing it. I was thinking about doing the karaoke thing. I was going to do the whole charity karaoke stream for the first half, do it public. And then hopefully the fact that I do that whole half public, when I do the other half private for you guys, a bunch of new patrons will join and shit. And we can fucking boost the Patreon fucking shit up too. So it's like a win-win. Charity wins, I win, you guys win because you're getting 24 hours of content. But yeah, I think I might do that next month. But anyway, you guys are fucking pretty cool. Thank you guys for popping in here. You'll be getting a super long one next month, so don't feel too disappointed that this one's only 2 hours and 45 minutes. I know. So happy Halloween. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you guys dress up or any of that shit. You can fucking send me your fucking costumes on Twitter. I'll retweet them if you look cool enough. All right. Peace, y'all. Have a good night.